everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Howie. I'm one of the software engineers here at PTS. Today I'll be giving you a sneak peek of our ClearStream 3.0 product. Kind of give you a little overview of all the new features that we have, show you some of them in action with the actual application loaded up. As usual, it is a pre-release product, so if we run into any issues today, just bear with me as I try to get everything, show everything to you as we look at the different features. But before I get started with actually showing you the application, I'd just like to mention for anyone that hasn't yet seen or used ClearStream 3.0, I just wanted to let you know kind of what the application does. ClearStream RFID is an easy-to-use fixed RFID application that allows you to map fixed RFID readers into a database table, an Excel spreadsheet, or even just a text file. So it really allows you to quickly and easily map one of these readers out in your field, or as many readers as you'd like, to a pre-existing database table. And as tags are read as they're going by these fixed readers, they'll be sent and reported to the database table or Excel spreadsheet. They can append to your database. They can update your database. And you have a bunch of flexibility in how these tags are being sent to the destination. Now, as usual with our products, there's no programming involved. You would just, it's all just a drag and drop, point and click environment where you can kind of configure all of these readers and hook them up to the destination. So non-programmers can set ClearStream RFID up in just really a couple of minutes and get everything working and sending tags to a back-end database. Like I said before, it supports sending tag information to ODBC databases, Excel spreadsheets, or just simple text files. So you can send your tag information to any one of those different database types. Okay, so what's new in ClearStream 3.0? Well, the first and probably the biggest feature is our new single-reader multi-process architecture. Now, this feature allows you to take a single fixed RFID reader, kind of like you see in this picture here, and map it to many different destinations. So you can use one fixed RFID reader to send the tag information to different places. Maybe you want to send some tag information to an ODBC data table, and you also want to send copies of it to maybe an Excel spreadsheet or something like that. You can hook that up within ClearStream, and that single reader will be sending the tags to different destinations. One other powerful feature with that is you can hook up a single fixed RFID reader to multiple destinations. So maybe if you wanted to do check-in and check-out of items, you could have, say, an employee badge that's scanned by one RFID reader get sent to an employee badge table that's keeping track of the employees that are going in and out of that room, that stock room. And then you can have any item that's scanned by that same reader be sent to an item table for what's being checked in and checked out. So with that single reader, you're sending the tags that are read to two different destinations. So previously in ClearStream 2.0, all of the tag information that was picked up by a reader would be sent to a single destination. Now with this new multi-process architecture, you can send the tag information to as many different destinations as you like. Maybe just as another example there, you can configure our ClearStream so that if a reader has two buttons hooked up to it, or maybe two light sensors, based on which one was tripped, you can send the tag information that's scanned to a different destination. So if doorway 1 is tripped by a light sensor, you can have any tag information that's sent there sent to a particular database table. If doorway 2 is tripped with a light sensor, that tag information can be sent somewhere else. So you have a lot of control over where the tag data is sent from a single fixed RFID reader to many different destinations. The second big feature we do have available is the virtual environment for testing and planning. This really gives you a virtual setup or drawing of an environment, maybe a warehouse or a stock room or something like that, where you can pick and place fixed RFID readers, tags, and antennas, and you can move them throughout the environment. You can get an idea of how you'd like to set the fixed RFID readers up and kind of lay out a floor plan of where everything would be going, maybe in a final setup with real fixed RFID readers. And within that environment, you can set up animations, so you can see the tag containers moving throughout the environment, and as they're going through the environment, you can see them being scanned and how everything would kind of work. We also have a new public API. And I'll show you a demonstration of this in just a couple minutes. This allows third-party applications to talk to ClearStream RFID. And interesting use case for this is actually being able to power up and stop readers through that third-party application. So if somebody already had maybe a internal website for their company that would allow them to view maybe tag information that was being sent to this database table that the website is built off of, you can hook up through that web page the ability to turn on and off readers. So let's say through a website you wanted to see what was available in the stock room. Well, you could have that website have a button on there that says scan room for 30 seconds. And that would scan the room. You could power up the reader, scan the room, and when it's complete, you could see what inventory is at that location. And it's all done through this public API. So that's installed with the ClearStream 3.0 with the standard installation. Some of the other features we do have, I'll touch on this also when I go into the application. You can now read the user memory and tag identifier memory banks on the tags. So not only reading EPC values, you can read the user and TID memory banks and send them back to the database table or destination. You can also capture now tag counts. So every tag that's read, you can post a count to your database, and it can accumulate those counts as well. So every time that tag is read, you can accumulate how many times it was read and sent to the database. We also added ASCII conversion of the tag data. Now this is something we had on the mobile side with our Tracer Plus product, but it allows you to take the memory banks of the RFID tag and convert them into ASCII. So if you had like a human readable value written to the tags, you would be able to see that in the destination. And there's many more features here I will go through in just a minute. Just also as a note, this will be available in September. So you're taking a sneak peek now. If you would like to be on a beta list or anything like that, please reach out to us, and we'd be glad to send you an early build when that's available. Okay. Before I jump into the application, I just would like to mention that on our website at ClearStreamRFID.com, you can download a trial of the application. Currently, it's the 2.0 application up on our website, but you can download a trial and go ahead and trial everything that you see here today, just in the older version 2 product. And again, if you wanted to sign up for the beta, please reach out to us through email, and we can get you a beta link when it's available. Okay, so let me hop out of the PowerPoint here, and I'm going to jump over to ClearStream RFID 3.0. Okay, so here is ClearStream RFID 3.0. This is kind of the home screen. It looks very similar to 2.0. This is in a default state here. Nothing's really configured at the moment. You have your source of information and your destination on the right-hand side here. Now, the source and destination within ClearStream, the source is generally an RFID reader, and the destination is wherever you'd like those tags to go when they're read from the reader. So what I'm going to do on the left-hand side here of the source is select RFID. On the destination side, I'm going to go ahead and pick ODBC because I'm going to send this to a Microsoft Access database table that I already have configured on my PC here. So I'm going to go ahead and select that from my list. If I go ahead and go to the ClearStream RFID sample, which is installed with the application, I'm just going to go ahead and pick the RFID tag list. Okay, so this is basically the database table where all of the tag information is going to be sent every time a tag is read. Excuse me. So on the left-hand side here, this is the source. This is where the fixed RFID that we want to send information to on the destination side. Now this is the first thing you'll notice that's different with 3.0. There's a new readers button here, and this is where you would configure all of the readers you're going to be using within the ClearStream RFID application here. So what I have to do first is click the readers button. And this brings up the readers configuration form. Now for each reader you'd like to add, you just hit the plus sign here. You pick the manufacturer type you'd like to connect to. I'm going to pick a Motorola reader in this case. You then enter the IP address or host name of that reader, or just like in ClearStream 2.0, you can hit the find button and it'll attempt to find a reader. But I'm going to go ahead and enter the IP address that I know. Okay, that'll connect to the reader, and now I've added one reader to my application, and I have everything else down here in kind of the default state. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and close this because I do have one reader hooked up, and I want to show you this single reader multi-process architecture that we have in ClearStream 3.0. So what I'm going to do is close this dialog, and now you can see the fixed RFID reader that we just added to our reader list is now accessible here on the source side of our configuration. So every time this reader that I just configured scans a tag, it's going to send it to the destination. Now let's just say, for instance, I wanted to send it to a different destination. What I would do is, in the process list here, I'm going to add a new process. I'm going to select maybe the same ODBC database. I'm going to do the ClearStream RFID sample, but let's just say I want to send it to a different table. And in this case, I'll send it to the 5-field sample table here. Okay. On the source side, I'm going to select RFID again. When I select that, you'll see I still have the fixed RFID available that I added in the reader list, and now I'm sending it to this 5-field sample over here on the left-hand side. So you can go ahead and marry up this fixed reader to 2 different destinations. So every tag that's read will be sent to these 2 separate database tables. And we probably want to build some logic in this so that the correct tags are being sent to the destinations based on what maybe the tag type, the tag prefix or something like that. But it's taking the tags that are sent, that are picked up by that reader, and sending them to 2 separate destinations. Now that wasn't available in 2.0. You had to send the tag information to a single destination, but that's a new feature within 3.0, and it gives you a lot more flexibility in where you're sending this tag information as they're read by a single reader in this case. Okay. To jump back over to the first process here, I'd like to mention some of the other tag memory banks that we have listed in our field mappings. We have the EPC memory bank, which has always been available in 2.0 and 1.0. We added the tag identifier field, so you can now scan the tag identifier memory bank on a tag and send that to the destination as well. The user memory bank is another memory bank on the tag that you can scan and send that user memory to a destination field. You have the antenna name, the signal strength, a date time stamp, the reader name. We also have a new feature for the start event. This is basically what tripped the reader to start scanning for tags. Now, if I were to start it through the Management Studio here, that field would be populated with a started via the Management Studio string value. But you can have it based on what type of event it'll be reported to the database. So let's say you had a light sensor hooked up so that you could turn the reader on for the light sensor. Well, you could post a value then to the database called light sensor turned on the reader. You can also supply that value through our API. So through the API, you can post what started that reader. And in that case, you could do something like maybe a user login, so you can see exactly who started that reader and why it was starting to send those tags to the destination on the destination database side here. Like I mentioned before, there's also a new count option. That will actually allow you to post the number of times the reader saw that tag to the destination. So you can keep a running total of how many times that tag was scanned by the reader. And that would be across different readers and things like that. So maybe as a tag's moving throughout a facility, every time it's picked up, the count on the destination side could be incremented by that number. Okay, so those are all the new field mappings that you have supplied. The tag identifier user memory bank, the start event, and the count. You can send all of those additional fields of information to the destination in 3.0. Okay, so actually one thing before I continue here, if anybody has any questions at the end of the webinar, we will have a question and answer period that I can go through anything that you may that may come up at the end of the webinar. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the readers dialog here just to talk about some of the new features within the 3.0 reader configuration here. First, you have the typical ability to add all of the readers that you'd like to use in your application. You have the different scanning modes. You can continuously scan for tags. You can time when you'd like to scan for tags. Or you can use a GPI trigger. This is the input trigger on the device. This allows you now to put multiple triggers on the reader. In 2.0, you could only put one trigger to start the scan. So you could hook up one button or maybe one light sensor to start the reader. Now you can hook up a list of GPI triggers. So maybe you have a light sensor on either side of a portal, and you want to capture which one was tripped and when and how it would power up the reader. You can add each one of those here through the GPI trigger. Down in the tag storage settings, you can now convert the different memory banks to ASCII. So again, if you had human readable tag values that you'd like to post to your destination, you can convert them here to ASCII so you can actually read that value in your database rather than just capturing the hex information. You can also here turn on or off whether you'd like to read the all the memory banks during scan. You'd have to turn that on if you want to read the user memory bank or in the tag identifier bank. You have to turn that on here. Okay, so that's how you can configure the different readers within the new ClearStream 3.0. Again, each one you add here, you can use in any one of your sync processes that you configure for in the application in your project here. With that, I'd like to jump over to, let me add them right here. I'd like to start talking about the virtual site survey tool, which is our emulated environment within ClearStream 3.0. Now this feature is useful for someone that maybe doesn't have a fixed RFID reader to test ClearStream, or they'd like to see how the setup would be accomplished within their own environment, because they can draw out a floor plan of maybe a warehouse or something like that, place the readers, and see how things would be positioned before they're actually moved and positioned out in the field with real fixed RFID readers. So the first thing you need to do to configure a virtual environment is add a virtual reader. Now you can see the one I added here is a fixed RFID reader that happens to be on our physical network here. So it has an IP address. I got the reader ID back from that reader, but it's over in a different location of our own internal network here, and I was able to connect to it. But let's say I wanted to add an emulated reader, a fake reader. What I do is go ahead and hit the Add button, and rather than picking any one of these actual manufacturers for fixed RFID readers, I'm going to go ahead and pick an emulated reader. And that'll add a new reader to our form, but in this case you can see it's marked as emulated. It doesn't really have an IP address here. It just has this value that's kind of unique identifier for this emulated reader. And I can go ahead and configure this just as I would the Motorola reader. So I can go ahead and pick the scan modes, whether it be timed, GPI trigger, and so on. I can add antennas to my emulated reader. So I have all of the same options I would for in this case, a Motorola fixed RFID reader, but now I can hook them up within this emulated environment. Okay, so you're really just configuring it as you would a regular RFID reader. Once you have this reader hooked up, you can then go and start designing your virtual environment to view how this may work. So to do that, you go ahead and close your, you can see it added a new, I didn't give it a new name, but it added a second reader now that I added to my list. Now, to start up the virtual environment, you go up to the Tools menu, and you go to Virtual Site Survey. Now, this opens up a graph paper here so that you can start drawing out an environment where you're going to start placing tags, placing readers, and placing antennas to see the performance of how this fixed RFID environment would work. So what you do is you go ahead and hit this plus floor space and just start dragging out an environment. So let's just say maybe we want to make a warehouse with some loading docks or maybe like a check-in, check-out type scenario. You can start just kind of drawing this out within the environment. And then maybe out here we'll add, this is either a parking lot for the for where the shipments of items are going or something like that. And you can start labeling this. You could call this the warehouse. Okay, you can start kind of labeling this just to give an idea of how these rooms are laid out. And you could label this maybe like loading dock A, B, and C or something. But what you would do now is start to add where you think the fixed reader should go within this environment. So I would go ahead and select RFID reader here. Let's say I want to add, I'm going to add 2 readers. I'm going to add some antennas to these readers. Maybe I'll add an antenna for each loading dock. And you can kind of drag out where these antennas are aimed using this bullseye here. See, so I can this will define where the read area is of these antennas. So I just want to make sure now. I need this one here with another antenna. I just want to make sure I can cover the space for these loading docks. So as items go through the loading dock, I'm scanning them with my fixed reader. So you can see here I added 2 readers. They're currently not reading. That's why this red arc is around the read area. If I power these up, they would turn green. And at this point, I could go ahead and start adding the tags that I'd like to scan within my environment. So I can start adding some tags to this. You can pick what type of tag containers you're scanning. In this case, I have a cardboard or a box that's made out of cardboard. But you can also switch this, and this go-to thing's a little annoying. You can also switch this to other things, like maybe you wanted to scan a pallet. that's going through these loading docks, just to give a better representation of what the type of item is that you're scanning. Okay, so then you could line these up here, and at this point you could actually go ahead and animate these using the animation settings. So I can set up my areas where these are going. Let's just say they happen to be going out and then maybe coming back in, and this is an in setup here. So I can go ahead and start animating this. So now if I were to hit plus on this, we can speed this up a bit. You can see the items are going to start going through the environment, and as these go through these read ranges here, this is where they would be scanned. And now within this environment, when this is powered up, these are actually being scanned by the emulated readers, and they would be sending that tag information to the destination. Now, I didn't actually set those up to hook up to a destination, but this actually shows you in real time what the setup would be like within your environment. So you can actually see how the fixed readers would work within your environment and how maybe the items are moving throughout the warehouse or whatever it may be, and how you would be scanning them. So it gives you a good kind of visual guide to how the fixed RFID readers should be set up, as well as their performance. So it's an interesting tool that's available in ClearStream 3.0 that will give people that don't have fixed RFID readers available, or they just like to see how things would work, to be able to do it in this environment here. Okay, so I'll save that for now. Okay, so that's new for ClearStream 3.0. The next thing I did want to show you is actually the public API. We provide a sample of the public API through the installation of ClearStream. So if you go to your Start menu, then go to PTS and ClearStream 3. There's a new web link here for ClearStream Web App demo. And if I go ahead and open this up, you can see here, this is just a website that's loaded and pre-installed with ClearStream. It's really just a sample to show you how this works, because the code is provided for this, but this could be a website that's embedded in your own website, or maybe an own internal application that you may use for inventory or something like that. So what this allows you to do is actually set up grab this configuration that I have available through our environment here. And actually, one thing I want to do, I want to change the names on these. This is a Moto reader, and this is my emulated reader. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and change the names on them. So really what the API allows you to do is grab this configuration that you have and then start and stop the readers as necessary. So right now I have 2 readers in my configuration, and previously you would have to start them through this start-stop form within ClearStream. But if you want to provide a third-party way of doing it through a website or a standalone application, I think my port is 4407, you would go ahead and hook up through this API, and you can see it pulled the list in for the 2 readers that we have, the Moto reader and the emulated reader. And it allows you through that third-party application or website to take a look at the configuration here. And if I pick these, you can see the information about the readers. And at this point, you could actually start or stop the readers. You could also start and stop the emulated readers as well if you'd like to power those up. And you can actually, through the website, see that emulated environment power up the readers and start scanning tags. So it's a cool new way of powering and controlling ClearStream without actually having to use the ClearStream RFID management studio interface. You can create your own or create some type of website that would allow you to do that. Interesting just thing to note here is this: we've powered this thing up on, say, a cell phone. So through someone's iPhone or Android phone or something like that, you can start and stop all of the readers in your environment. Okay, so I think that may have been everything that I wanted to show you guys today with as far as ClearStream 3.0. At this point, I will jump back over to the PowerPoint. Before the questions, I'd just like to mention that we do have a limited number of ClearStream RFID kits available. So if you'd like to reach out to your reseller or sales representative to talk about getting a demo kit, the demo kit provides everything within the box to get ClearStream RFID up and running. It includes the trial software, fixed RFID reader, as well as tags so that you can see how all of the information is being scanned from those tags and sent to the destination in your ClearStream project. Again, I appreciate everyone joining us today for the webinar. I hope you take a look at ClearStream RFID 3.0 when it becomes available, and reach out to us if you'd like to be on the beta list. As usual, if you have any further questions as you review any of the stuff that I've talked about today, please feel free to use the contact information on our website and reach out to us. We'd be glad to get the information you need. But again, I thank everyone for joining us today and hope to see you again on a future webinar. Thanks, everyone.